Welcome to the free webinar series for EFL and ESL teachers by BingoBongo Learning. Today we're going to talk about how to supercharge your lessons and get more students using battle eggs. I am your host, Jeremy Lanig. I'm also the creator and founder of BingoBongo Learning, as well as a small chain of English conversation schools in Kagawa Prefecture, Japan, called Step by Step English. All right, this is our 8th webinar of the series. If you haven't seen our webinars yet, please check them out. You can just Google search BingoBongo Webinar or ESL or EFL Webinar, and they should pop right up. All kinds of great topics, from marketing an English school to using online games, role-playing games. A lot of fun topics. Definitely worth checking out. Okay, so today we're going to jump right into today's topic, how to supercharge your lessons and get more students using this card game called Battle Eggs. So first, let's start with what is Battle Eggs. Well, Battle Eggs is it's a card game, but that sounds too simple. It's much more complicated, not complicated as in difficult. There are different levels of, skill level involved. So a 3-year-old can pick it up and use it and go, wow, this is a fun game. Or junior high school students can play the game and play it on a different level. So I want to say there are various levels of ways you can play the game. As an English teacher, as a school owner, I'm not a big fan of games in the classroom. I find that they tend to interfere with the learning process, especially if there's a strong sense of competition, right? I want to win, and I kind of focus more on how to win than the topic that we're studying. So in my school, for the longest time, we actually had a rule that we could not say the word game, or we couldn't really have winners and losers. And so taking that idea, we put it into Battle Eggs, and we wanted to make a game that was fair and that wouldn't give an advantage to stronger students. So if you have a beginner who's studying English and you have somebody who's maybe been studying for several years and they play the game together, there's actually a good chance that the beginner can still win. So it's fairly random and it's a very fair game. So let's take a look at the components of the game. These are called pet cards. And pet cards are the things that the students really, really love. They have different characters, they have different colors, and when students get to collect these, they get very excited to see the different, it's called PPP, is Pet Power Points, and there are rainbow foil cards, which of course are, worth as much as gold to kids. So if we look at the second part of the game, we have the vocab cards. And in a sense, you can think of these as flashcards. But kids wouldn't really get excited to play with flashcards, so we included these cards called Battle Eggs with the vocabulary cards. And the vocab cards have points, 1 point for each vocab card, but the Battle Eggs have 2 points or 3 points or 4 points. So students or kids automatically know these are worth more, and as soon as a Battle Egg pops up, it kind of changes what happens in the game, and it will definitely get the kids very, very excited. They're kind of like wild cards. Okay, so let's go back to the pet cards. As an educator, as an English teacher, I wanted to create a card game that had as much educational value as possible. I wanted it to sort of be something that could replace a textbook or supplement it, and something we could use all year round so that we're constantly learning and reviewing a core set of vocabulary words or a topic. So, for example, in this pet card, we have the Pet Power Points, PPP. So we're going to learn numbers from 11 to 109. There are 100 characters currently, maybe more on the way. Each character, each pet card has a weather power. So there are 3 of these. It's like Janken or rock, scissors, paper. We have sunny. Sunny beats windy. Windy beats snowy, and snowy beats sunny. So we can either play using points. We can play using sort of this Janken style game. Each pet has a name, and this pet's name is Retzball. And some of the names are a little bit tricky to read. It's actually not a big deal. It's not a very important part of the game. In fact, if you read the name backwards, Lobster, lobster, all 100 pet cards have a reversible name, if that makes sense. You can read it backwards. Lobsters are typically red? Sure. So typically the color of the card has some sort of connection to the name, as much as we could find words that work like that. And so we then have a color. There are 10 colors, I should say 9 colors plus rainbow. There are 10 styles of pets. Now, is a ghost a good pet? I don't know. We have zombies, alligators. I don't know that they'd be great pets, but to the kids, these are the pet cards. There are 10 kinds of pets. Each pet has a birthday, has a favorite food or drink, and then it has a kind of a hobby or thing it likes to enjoy. So it has a pretty in-depth profile, and so that if we're playing or using these, we don't even have to play a game. We can just pull out the card and say, okay, guys, let's practice the birthdays, or let's say your pet's hobbies, or let's practice numbers today. So there are a lot of ways we can use this in class. All right, so then next, of course, the pet cards are fun on their own, but when you have the rainbow foil cards, yeah, it puts a whole new spin on the game. And as you can see, the rainbow cards are the only pet cards that are in the 100s. So if you're having a battle to try to get the highest PPP, then a rainbow card is definitely going to be something you want to see. It's going to have a good chance of winning, unless you're up against another rainbow card, which does happen here and there. Okay, so how do we use this in my school? When you purchase a pet deck, you buy this pack here, and there are 15 cards in a deck. And there are all 10 colors, and there is one rainbow card in there. So at my school, every year, as part of the materials fee, we have students purchase one new pet deck. And we have this optional Battle Eggs pet card case, which is just about the size of a pet deck. Now, students will want to collect and get more and more pet cards, which is great. We encourage it. We want them to get all 100. But then if you're going to be playing in class, we don't want students to have only rainbow cards or only, to kind of have, 100 cards in their box. It's too complicated. So we encourage students to always have one set of 15 cards ready to go in their pet case, and this is called a pet deck. And so this is about 500 yen. We add it to the materials fee every year. We actually use these for events, special lessons. We use these a lot. So they're a great way to reward kids as well if you want to buy a couple extra packs and give out single cards for rewards. Okay, and so now let's take a look at the vocab cards in a little more depth. So these are called battle cards. We have the pet cards, and then we have the battle cards. But just think of them as vocab cards for now. And we have level 1, level 2. And in one box, you have 90 cards. So there are 45 cards here in level 1, and there would be 45 cards in level 2. So for level 1, it starts out fairly simple. We're going to focus on phonics. So we're just going to teach the kids, especially starting at 3 years old or even 2 years old, we're going to teach the vocabulary word. Maybe we would like to teach them how to read the word, or maybe we would like to, challenge them to spell the word from memory. And another thing I'll point out is that the vocab cards, or the battle cards, have a blue back, and the pet cards have a purple back. And notice the size difference between the two. So this is great because that way you can always, if you're using both styles of cards in a game, you'll know exactly which cards are which. And another thing is that we give our students their own pet decks, but students will never exchange, trade, or touch other students' pet decks. So they will open their pet deck and use it right in front of them at the table, at the desk, and then when they're done, they close their case, put it back in their bag. So this is great, especially in the time of, pandemics where you don't want kids necessarily getting their hands on everything and sharing germs and what have you. So, great. These are the vocab cards called battle cards. All right, so currently we have 6 levels of battle cards. Level 1 and level 2 focus on short vowels, long vowels. Level 3 then continues the phonics journey, and we start looking at 2-letter combinations with blends and digraphs. And then starting with level 4, we start looking at vocab words in groups by topic. So colors, numbers, days of the week, prepositions of place. And then with level 5 and level 6, we continue on with verbs and adjectives. And then we go into months, seasons, school supplies, ordinal numbers. And let's look at some samples of each level. So for level 1, we have the short vowel sounds A, E, I, O, U, E, I, O, U. And there are 7 cards per grouping. So there are 7 words with the short vowel A, 7 words, 7 words, 7 words, 7 words. So there's 35 there, plus 10 battle cards. So there's about battle eggs. There's 1 egg per about 3.5 cards of vocab cards. Now, when we go to level 2, we're going to look at long vowel sounds. So A, E, I, O, and oo. Now, we're not doing only magic E sounds. We do have like the, rain, R-A-I-N. So we do have a few different patterns mixed in, but it's, again, 7 cards with the long A sound, 7 cards with the long E sound. And for this box, for these, level 1, level 2, it's really, I think, enough to have kids learn the vocab and be able to read the word, say the letters, and then if you want to go to the kind of highest level of understanding, be able to cover the word and show them the cat and say, how do you spell cat, C-A-T. But for EFL students or ESL students, this is a very difficult task. So that's not necessarily something we recommend, but the option is there. And that's another great point about battle eggs, is that it's very, very flexible. All right, so moving on, we look at level 3 words, which are the blends and the digraphs. So we have the sh sound and the ch, the ch and the ck, the dr, dr, and the... So we have a lot of different sounds in there. And then with level 4, days of the week, we have some numbers, prepositions of place, and colors. Now, one difference between level 3, 4, and 1 and 2 is that with level 3 and 4, we start adding some sentences at the bottom of the cards. So these are a little bit small. If I can zoom in, I can zoom in here. And so, what's this word? Now, the teacher can decide, okay, let's practice number 1 today, or let's practice number 2 today, or let's practice number 3. Please spell rock. Please read this word. Basically, the 3 topics that I mentioned for level 1, level 2, but now they are written out on the cards. And now if we go down here, we're asking questions about the picture. Where is the monkey? With the answer, it's between the boxes. And when we look at numbers, what's 3 plus 1? So now we start getting into more of a quiz game where one student maybe would read the quiz question and not show the card, and the other students have to answer. Okay, so let's go back into our, where am I here? Okay, so now we're going to level 5, level 6, and we do verbs, adjectives, and we have some numbers as well. So then, again, we just kind of level up and we make the quiz questions a little more in depth. So this airplane is $1 million. It's expensive. So yeah, this is great. So when you get older students or more advanced students, then these are great ways to incorporate reading as well as speaking into the activities, whatever you decide to use. Okay, so this is hopefully gives you a pretty good idea of what the vocab cards look like. Now, the other element of the vocab cards in the battle decks are the battle eggs. And again, so what are these cards? Well, they're just basically a wild card, and whenever they appear, it tells students you should battle if you have your pet cards. Now, this one is called the low PPP battle egg, and it says the pet with the lowest PPP wins. So students all have their own pet decks, and then they would draw their cards. So here, maybe student 1 draws the black monster. His name is Ni, read backwards is ink. And maybe another player draws the white ninja. His name is Rageous, and spelled backwards is sugar. I think sugar is typically white and ink is typically black. So great. And then the students go, okay, I have 37 PPP, and the other student says I have 44. So the student with the lowest PPP, or the pet with the lowest PPP, would win. So that would be this black monster here, Ni. And so then great, the player gets the 4 points. Now, if you wanted to play the game on a little bit deeper of a level here, we would use the PPP modifiers, which are found in some of the pet cards. So now, if you notice, there are a shape. There's a power shape for every card. So we have a rectangle versus an arrow. So if you have a rectangle, heart, diamond, star, or square, you add 20 to your PPP. So that means Ni goes from 37 to 37 plus 20 is 57 points, or 57 PPP. And Rages, he's got an arrow, so he gets plus 3, so he goes from 44 to 47. And that means at the end of the day, the white ninja actually wins, although maybe the students thought maybe initially the black monster was going to win. So it creates a really fun dynamic where students can be using math. The teachers can be explaining using if clauses. If you have, we get to practice a lot of different shapes, colors, and can be done on a regular basis. Okay, so there are a lot of different styles of battle eggs, which makes it even more exciting that every new box you get, there's a new style of battle egg. So this one here is choose a pet. So the students would draw 2 pets and choose the strongest one. Zoom in here a little bit. So we have a birthday battle. The earliest birthday wins. So if I look at maybe my 2 pets here, October 6th versus August 22nd, August is before October, so the early birthday would win. And that's 7 points. Woohoo! All right, so we have name alpha battle. Now this is great. We just compare the pets' names and look at the first letter, or if it's, the same first letter, look at the second letter. So we learned some alphabetical rules when we play the game. We have a short name battle. So we'd count the number of letters in the pets' names. So if we have Separg here, grapes, versus Nickmup, who is pumpkin, then it looks like Separg is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. So that's the shorter name of the two. He would win the 4 points. Anyway, lots and lots of different fun things. Weather battle, which is similar to rock, scissors, paper, or Janken. Long name battle. So there are many, many levels that you can play this game on. Okay, so that said, let's take a look at how to play battle eggs with different age groups and different games or activities using the pet cards or using the battle cards, the vocab cards, or using both. So we're going to start out with, ways to, again, I'm a teacher at heart, I'm an educator, and I want to make sure that we're really using this game to the fullest of its potential to teach. So how to teach with battle eggs. And so the first thing we're going to look at is a little activity that's great for any class, any age, and it's called Shout Out. And because every student has their own pet deck, we ask students to just take out their pet deck, and just run through the cards and say something. So students take out their pet decks, they say the target vocab. So maybe the teacher will say, all right, today let's say the color and the pet. It's a green monster. It's a rainbow ninja. Or maybe you want to practice numbers for that class. So if you need a quick 5-minute warm-up, 10-minute warm-up, this is the way to go. And they get to take out their pet cards. Have you ever seen a child get excited to take out a textbook? I haven't. But when you watch the kids, if you say, take out your pet cards now, there's like, I get to use my pet cards in class. Because to them, it's not a educational resource. It's a game or a toy or a shiny object to them. So we have that advantage, and we can use that a lot. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these videos then. So this would be what it looks like. This video is a little bit small, but here I am in one of my lessons, and each of the kids has their own pet deck. And I actually collect the pet decks as they come into the classroom. And that way I can distribute them and collect them, give them back at the end of class much faster. And they're in the plastic cases, so it's easy to organize and sort out. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. Your cards. Yeah, we're going to open your cards and say, it's a purple alligator. It's a yellow frog. It's a yellow dog. It's an orange alligator. Okay, it's a white dog. It's a white dog. Orange monster, good. It's a blue dog. Okay, here you go. It's a white rabbit. It's a red. Great, and so I've also taught my students to raise their hand if they get stuck and say, what's this? Or please help me. And because they're all doing it, you can't really have kids speaking in a quiet voice. They want to speak a little bit louder than the person next to them. So you tend to get this kind of nice, encouraging environment where the kids want to speak a little bit louder and just kind of at their own pace. There's no pressure. So it's a very, very nice warm-up activity. It's a rainbow dog. It's a orange cat. It's a green cat. It's a blue cat. Good. Say All right, so they get really, really into this activity. So you can do this basically anytime you want, at the beginning of class, end of class, as a review, a warm-up. And with 2 or 3-year-olds, this is probably a little bit difficult. But when, I think this class, when they were kindergarten, second year of kindergarten, so Nen Chu students, they're able to pull this off easily. So yeah, it just takes a little bit of practice. So once they get into the routine, it's easy to do. All right, so that is shout out. Just give the kids a bunch of cards and let them read off something that you want. Because the pet cards have so much different content, months, birthdays, hobbies, colors, shapes, emotions. It's up to you, whatever you want to practice on those cards. Okay, so our next activity is called Spreadum. And so here I just spread out all the cards on the table. Now for this activity, we only need one set of cards. It can be one set of pet cards or one set of the vocab cards. And the more rainbow cards, the more battle eggs you have in there, the better. Because this is really good for young students, 2 years old, 3 years old, even babies. Because you're just going to grab one card per player, say the vocab, and then go around. And that is very exciting for these kids. Again, it's not... To them, it's a game, or they're playing. They're not studying with a flashcard or a resource. Okay, so we spread out all of the cards on the table face down. We take turns picking up a card and just saying the target vocab. And at the end of the game, we count the cards. If you want to count the points, you can. If there's battle eggs, then they would have varying points. But because we're going around, everyone gets 3 tries to grab a card, and so they're all going to have 3 cards. Nobody's going to have more cards. Nobody wins, nobody loses. That kind of, we're playing a game, but it's not really a game. Okay, so let's take a look at Spreadum. For this activity, we used one of our teachers and my daughter, Rose, who is now 2.5 years old. Although she's been playing this for the last 6 months with no problem at all.
Shuffle, Rose, shuffle. Can you help me shuffle? We're going to shuffle. All right, here we go. So this game is called Spreadum Battle Eggs. Okay, I'll go first. Ah, it's a battle egg.
It's a leg.
It's a cat. It's a nut.
It's a sun.
It's a battle egg. Good job.
It's a battle egg.
It's a dog.
It's a pig.
It's a fox. It's a bag.
It's a battle egg.
All right, so this would be if we're practicing the vocab cards. Now, in this version, we're going to be practicing the pet cards. So we'll say the color and the pet. And I guess the kids really try to get the rainbow cards. If they can draw a rainbow card, to them, that's made their day, and they're a winner in their own hearts.
It's a rainbow alligator. She got the rainbow. It's a yellow octopus.
It's a blue monster.
It's a white frog.
Okay, so this is a great activity. I love it. I can use this in most of my classes with younger students. And even if you have, 6 or 7 or 8 students, you can still have them all around the table. And you could split them up into 2 groups if you wanted to do this once they become independent and can do the game. But yeah, it's a great way just to get them to learn the vocab and, just get used to the game in general. Okay, so that's Spreadum. Next is called Battle Egg Mines. And this is a fun, kind of exciting, there's a lot of movement involved. And it's kind of a speed game where the kids have to just pick up 3 cards and quickly move around the table. So we're going to spread the vocab cards face down. And everyone can go, they have one chance to go up. Well, they have multiple chances. They take their turn and they pick up a card. And they say the vocab word. So if we're doing, say, the level 1 phonics, it's a cat. Then they pick up another card. It's a dog. And they pick up another card. And they just can keep going as long as they want. We used to do the rule where if you made a mistake, your turn was finished. Or if you get a battle egg, your turn is finished. But it turns out students get really good and their turns never end. And they get a lot of the cards kind of in one go. So we decided, okay, let's just set a card limit. So we usually set it at 3. You could change this to 4 or 5. But if you get 3 cards, then your turn is finished. Or if a battle egg appears, your turn is finished. And so here is what that looks like.
So we're going to play Battle Eggs Landmines, and we're going to draw up to 3 cards and just say fly, road. Oh, if I get a battle egg, my turn is finished. Or if
So I got a battle egg, my turn is finished. I actually got 3 cards coincidentally, and so that would be the same as just drawing 3 regular vocab cards. And now, again, for this game, if you do draw a battle egg and you want to count points, that's actually a good thing. So even if you draw a battle egg and on your first go, it's still going to be more points than if you got, say, 3 cards, like regular vocab cards.
if I get 3 cards, my turn is finished. Okay, your turn. It's a battle egg finish!
So she got a battle egg right away. Game over, or turnover.
Dive. Jet.
And so we also mixed level 1 and level 2 here together. So
Okay.
we can
it's a battle
review,
egg
we can
finish!
teach, we can do a lot here. So we go through and just keep going until the cards are gone. And this actually only takes a couple minutes. And so once all the cards are finished, we then count up. Okay, how many cards do you have? And this game will have quite a variance of the number of cards that students collect.
Oh, come on, biddling!
Log. Leg.
All right, so at this point, I say to the students, let's count the cards, not the points, cards, because this will typically be a good counting exercise into the teens or maybe 20s. Now, if you do want to do points, that's great, but because they have so many cards, it can take a while to do the math. If you have a lot of students and not much time, it's probably not ideal. That's why we'll just count cards.
All right, so now let's sit down. And for this game, we're not going to count points. We're just going to count the cards. How many cards? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 11.
Okay, so we count up, and yeah, again, in that case, there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser, but I don't put a big emphasis on who the winner is. I just say, okay, good, you got 20 points. I mean, the kids, to them, in their minds, they go, I got the most cards, I win, or they go, oh, I didn't win. But we're not making a big deal out of it. And yeah, we haven't really had an issue with kids, you know, kind of, oh, I lost and getting bent out of shape or getting, you know, sad or losing focus of the rest of the lesson. So, okay, now we're going to look at a kind of a Janken alternative. Now, I love to do this with the older students who, you know, maybe they have a textbook activity or maybe a reading exercise that might just be kind of boring on its own. But if they have their pet cards next to them, then there's sort of a game element to it. And instead of just, you know, picking students at random or having them go around in a circle reading one sentence at a time, we could use the pet cards and a battle to decide who reads the next sentence, who asks the next question. And this is cool because then there's that, am I going to get picked next or not? It randomizes it fairly nicely, and students get very into the activities, I think. Okay, so all the students take out their pet decks. You need 1 deck per student for this activity. The teacher can decide high or low PPP. Now, there's actually a bit of strategy involved with making a pet deck. We'll get into this in a moment, but you can actually create a pet deck that's stronger in terms of higher PPP cards. But if you think you're going to have a lot of low PPP battle eggs, then you would want to balance it to have maybe some super high cards, super low cards. Anyway, if you have students who understand that, they can always win the high PPP battles. So I like to alternate between high and low, high and low. So question 1, question 3, question 5 will be high, and the even questions, 2, 4, 6, would be low PPP. And that person would have to do whatever the exercise is. So read a word, say a word, ask a question, read a sentence. Okay, so for the next video, I think we were just kind of testing it out in this class. It's a junior high school, almost junior high school class, and they're very, they're actually, sorry, 6th graders here, but a little bit shy, and they're not going to be as genky as a lot of the classes are. But
Next battle. 3, 2, 1, battle eggs.
all right, so each student draws 1 battle egg, and I think instead of just looking at the PPP, the number, we were saying I have a orange monster. I have a This is when the game was actually fairly new to all these students, so we were trying out different things. And then they have their Ask Profile cards, which is one of our free resources for teachers. Basically, it's a laminated profile card that they use all year round. So they have to say their profile. My nickname is, my birthday. I'm taller than my brother. I'm shorter than my mother. I think on this card, there's about 10 or 11 different sentences and questions related to their profile.
Good. I have a.
And so whoever had the highest PPP would ask the question, and they're off the hook for answering. So the winner would ask, the other 3 students would answer. And now we do this activity. We just use the numbers, and we just quickly go, okay, you're the highest PPP, go. Read the question. You're the lowest PPP, go. So you can, again, make it as fast or as slow as you'd like. All right, so now we're actually going to finally get to how to play the standard rules of battle eggs. There are 2 ways you can do this. You can have the students draw cards and ask, or you can have the teacher kind of be the dealer. And they do the same thing, but then only the teacher would draw the cards, so the students aren't touching and exchanging cards. And so this makes it a little more, if you're worried about, germs and bacteria, this makes it a little bit safer in that sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to take turns asking questions about the vocab cards. So you draw a card and you ask the person to your left, what's this? And they say, it's a cat. And you go, oh, that's right. Here you go. You get the card. And so if you answer it, you get to keep the card. You get the point. Then you would just go on to the next person. Draw a card. What's this? It's a dog. That's right. Now, if a player made a mistake, what's this? It's a dolphin. No, I'm sorry. It's a moose. Oh, okay. So this is another important point about battle eggs. When students make mistakes, it feels really bad. And a big thing, I think, with kids is they don't want to make mistakes. But you have to make mistakes to learn language. And so we say, okay, well, that's okay. You made a mistake. Now everyone gets to fight for the point. Right? So this is cool because as soon as the kid makes the mistake, they go, oh, that's okay. I got a second chance. I can battle for it. So if you know the game Jeopardy, right? You beep, beep, beep. You hit the buzzer. And if you get the wrong answer, you've lost your chance to get the points. Like, I feel like an idiot. And somebody else chimes in and they get it. But with battle eggs, if this is Jeopardy, you beep, 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 and you get it wrong, and then everyone gets into like a boxing match, and then you get a fight for the points. So that's the idea. And once you start that battle, you kind of forget the whole thing that happened. But when you do make a mistake, when the students make mistakes, they learn very quickly from their mistakes, as they should. That's why it's so important with language to make many mistakes. So it's a really, really important element of the game, which was carefully thought through and added. Okay, so they have a battle if somebody makes a mistake, or if a battle egg appears, everyone's like, wow, battle egg! And then we have a pet battle. Okay, so we have, again, a video of this. So here,
So you'll go first.
we're using another one of our teachers step by step with one of my students. Her English nickname is Hazel. She's been with us for about 1.5 years. And she came in with absolutely no experience, but she's been studying in a private lesson with me and in 1.5 years using fun books, using our Ask profile cards, using battle eggs, dictionaries. Her level is just unbelievable. I struggle to find enough kind of content to help her advance. But yeah, so let's watch how to play battle eggs standard rules.
First, and today let's ask, how do you spell? So we're going to pick up the card.
So we're actually doing a more advanced level, a more advanced game, where we're asking, how do you spell the word with no... actually, we do, yeah, we can see the word. But we have to just know the spelling from memory.
Card, and we're going to pick up the card and say, how do you spell okay? So you can, yeah.
How do you spell
Bus, yeah.
bus?
Okay, good. So right away, she said B-A-S. She made a mistake. And she's a little bit, unconfident about her answer.
Oh, B.
And I like to give kids another chance, give them some hints. I don't want to, have a pet battle based on mistakes if possible. But again, there is a lot of value in doing it.
B. S. Close.
And then she changed her answer to E because she knew that something was off.
I'm sorry. All right, so it's
B-U-N.
All right, so then when a student does make a mistake, it's important to make sure that they understand what the correct answer is before having the battle.
If a player makes a mistake...
All right, so she made a mistake. She didn't get the point, but now we can all fight for it. So we're all going to have a pet battle, and we typically say 3, 2, 1, battle eggs.
That's okay, because now what we're going to do is we're going to have a pet battle to see who gets the card. 3, 2, 1, battle eggs. 80.
16.
So she got a rainbow card, 106. She crushed us, and she still got the points anyway. So that's great. She will not even have any, she won't be sad or embarrassed about making that mistake, especially because she got her points back.
All right, so you still get the card anyway. Great job. Okay, now please take a card. Ask me, how do you spell? So sometimes there's a battle egg. And
all right, so we got a battle egg right off the bat, and
we will have a pet battle. This is the low PPP battle.
All right, so we're having a low PPP battle. The lowest PPP wins.
The pet with the lowest number.
And in this game, we are not using the PPP modifiers. We're not worrying about the colors to change the PPP.
We're not going to use the modifiers today. 3, 2, 1, battle eggs.
Easy.
19. 16. Okay.
So even though we're focusing on the vocabulary, the spelling, we're still reviewing numbers. We could, have the kids say the color of their cards or the pet cards. The teacher can decide anything they feel that needs to be, practiced during that game. And so we can see right away, like 19 was a little bit difficult. So we need to be practicing numbers more with this game, or maybe in a different activity.
Okay. How do you spell big?
B-I-G. Big.
Is that right? That's right. That's right.
So he got it right. He gets the card.
Whoa, battle egg.
A lot of battle eggs. So typically the battle egg ratio is 3 to 1. So you'd have 3 vocab cards to 1. But we have a mixed up deck with probably some extra battle eggs in there.
Weather battle.
Okay, so we're going to do a weather battle, which is like Janken, like I said. Sunny beats windy, windy beats snowy, and snowy beats sunny.
So we're going to look at the pet card's weather symbol. 3, 2, 1, battle eggs. My pet has sunny.
My pet has sunny.
All right, sunny, sunny, sunny. So that's like playing Janken and everyone, throwing out a rock. So that means if they all have the same, if it's a tie, then we look at the PPP to decide the winner.
Sunny, sunny, sunny.
And all of these rules are written on the battle egg card, so it's pretty clear.
So, for a tie, the highest PPP wins. 37.
81. Whoa, good job.
All right. So you can draw a card. How do you spell? Ride. Ride. R-I... ride. R-I-T-E. Ride. Ah. Oh, I made a mistake. So, if there's...
Okay, so I like to intentionally make mistakes just because obviously I want to give the students more chances to have pet battles, but also she has to confirm that I got it right or wrong, so she has to understand that as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of, great ways that we can learn just all kinds of things from playing standard battle eggs. And you can do this, I like to do this in my lessons, maybe just for maybe 10 minutes every few lessons if we're going to, actually turn it into a game. This one will feel the most gamey of the activities, but there's a lot of things we can learn from it, and the kids will be ecstatic to do this. And I should say that we're in our second year of using battle eggs as a regular resource. We have the students purchase the pet decks, and the students purchase their own battle decks to play the game at home with their family or friends. And 2 years in, it's just it hasn't lost any momentum. It's still like running strong. Kids are just still very excited to get new pet cards and to play anytime. So we've built this great culture around this card game. Okay, so let's see then, moving on. So now let's change gears a little bit and let's talk about some other ways we can use this game, if you want to call it that, to improve lessons, to improve a school's curriculum, and even kind of teaching styles. So we do video evaluations at Step by Step, and these are kind of one of the best things that I think we've done at our school. And for video evaluations, what we do is every student gets their own personal page. It's password protected, so only the parents can see it. And every year we take 2 evaluation videos, about 3 months in and 10 months in. And we just want to show progress. We're not comparing students, but we want to see that one student has made progress compared to the student's last video. And so we started this program back in the 2018-2019 school year. So this is our 5th year doing it. And it's just kind of amazing to see the kids just, start so young. Here's Kip, back when he's, how old? Like maybe 4 years old, 3 or 4, and just every year gets bigger, and his English just gets better and better. So it's really nice. So the kids can, or the parents can, hop on here, and let's see. Let's take a quick listen. If it's going to load, maybe YouTube isn't going to be nice today. All right. Okay, Kip, go ahead. Red.
Red rectangle.
Good.
Blue circle.
Okay, so we had to decide the criteria for evaluating students. And this was actually a really difficult thing in the beginning. We're like, what do we do? Well, the students have their Ask profile cards, which have a variety of different vocab words on the back. There's food and animals and shapes and colors and numbers. So we were using those. And it was working out pretty well. And then for the second one, we had them, recite their profiles from memory. But then once we got battle eggs, we realized, hey, this is perfect for our video evaluations because we can ask the kids a variety of different things. There are different topics. There's reading. There's speaking. And that's the main point of these video evaluations is we want to show students' ability in speaking, which is really difficult. You can't necessarily do that with an ACAN test or, a standardized reading writing test. We want the parents to see their speaking and listening skills. And so battle eggs ended up being a really cool kind of criteria for that. So here is one of my students. She's been with me now for also about 2 years. So let's take a look at Heidi's. Heidi, her nickname is April. But we're going to look at her evaluation video from this past July. And we do half of the evaluation. This is just the first video of the year. We do half the evaluation using pet cards, and then half the evaluation using vocab cards or the battle cards. What's this?
It's a pink frog.
Good job. What's this?
It's a yellow octopus.
Good job. What's this?
It's a green frog.
Great job. What's this?
It's a diamond dog.
Good. So this is great. Now, the big challenge we had before was maybe some students weren't really interested in just looking at a piece of paper with some words on it. But because these physical objects are the same, things the kids have in their bags they go home and play with, they love this. And it's great because now we can get a much more realistic sense of how much vocabulary they can say, how much they've learned, where we need to go from here. And so that helps us as, curriculum developers or as teachers also kind of refine our programs or our teaching styles to make the program better. So let's jump ahead. Now, we don't actually ask our students to memorize the spellings, but check this out.
You memorized that. Good job. What's M?
M, orange dog.
Orange dog. Nice work. All right, so let's look at some words and their spellings.
Okay, so what I was doing with most of the students is covering the word, and if they could say, a few of the letters, then I would show them the word and they could just read the letters. But here, for April, we didn't have to do any of that.
All right, what's this?
It's a map.
M.
M-A-P.
So once I gave her the M hint, she's M-A-P. She's off from her memory.
Wow, you memorized that. Good job. What's this?
It's a bag.
Good. B.
B-I-G.
B-A-G. Good job. What's this?
It's a gas.
It's gas. Good. G.
G-A-S.
That's right. What's this?
Hat.
Good.
It's a hat.
It's a hat. H.
H-A-D.
Nice work. What's this?
It's a fan.
Good. F.
It's a
That was a really nice sound too. I was really happy to hear that. It's a fan.
Fan.
Wow. Okay, well, here's an easy one. What's this?
It's a cat. CAT.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, it's great. I'm her teacher. I'm really excited. But we didn't teach spelling. We've been practicing, different ways. But we're not saying, how do you spell this? You must memorize this. And so some of the kids are just learning this. They're absorbing it, internalizing it on their own, which just, it's great to see. So I will also mention that to help students prepare or to learn, we've also been sending them home with QR codes. And with these QR codes, they're able to watch some kind of mini lessons. And so we're creating these for a lot of our resources, a lot of our products. And for Battle Eggs, it would look something like this. All right, so this Battle Egg, we're going to practice this short I sound. And so the kids, if they have the cards at home, they can, pull out the words as well. Hi, I'm Jeremy from Step by Step English. Today, let's practice. So we jump in and I just practice. Say it with me 2 times. If you don't know the word, please say it with me on the second time. Okay, so we do one round of flashcard review. It's big. It's big. It's big. It's a pig. It's a pig. All right, great. So let's do our first activity. And I found that repeating the words 2 times, the students who know it, they'll just say it 2 times. If the students don't know it, they say it on the second time. So this is a really cool way to get students to kind of practice speaking at home rather than just passively watching. All right, so then after that, we jump into our next activity. So we're going to try to find the words that had that short I vowel sound in there. Find pig? Where is pig? Oh, it's by the orange. So the kids are like pointing at it. It's here. I found it. It's a pig. All right, and then finally we have some, other games here. All right. Oh, they are lips. They are. Okay, and this ship is so it's big. Great. So that would be one of the ways that we can get them to study at home, watching videos. We also have some different games, which you just saw me using in the video, but these are also available to students and teachers to use in activities. Looks like we haven't loaded our images. I should refresh the page. But yeah, so here, this game is called Secret Squares. You can have the students say, 9. And then, it's a jet. And then you go, okay, boom, yes, it's a jet. All right, so we can play some different activities, different games using the vocab words. So, great. So the evaluations, if you're interested in video evaluations, please, consider using Battle Eggs for that. There's actually, if you just Google search, how to start, video lessons, or type in like video ESL lessons, or go to the Bingo Bongo website blog, you'll find it right away. And we have a pretty detailed blog of how to start a video evaluation program in 3 steps. And so here you can see basically the equipment that we recommend, that we use, how we get these kind of cute overlays. And we actually have our list of criteria. So what we have the students do for the first, 6 years, or the first maybe even 10 years. So for the video 1, what's the goal? Video 2, what's the goal? And you'll see there's a big mix of Battle Eggs, profiles, and activities from our Bingo Bongo fun books. So if you're interested in video evaluations together with Battle Eggs, it's a great tool for a school. Okay. Next, this is something we've started doing this year, using Battle Eggs to get more students. And we discovered that rather than holding these big, events and parties, Christmas parties, Halloween parties, man, they take so much time and so much energy. I mean, they are very, very fun and very exciting for kids. But we didn't feel that we were getting a lot of new students as a result. We were creating a fun activity for our existing students, which is good. But we decided to take all of our activities like that, all of our parties, Halloween events, holiday stuff, and turn it into special lessons in the class. And then we told each student, hey, invite your friends, invite your family members. And it turns out we started to get a lot more new students on a much higher frequency because we hold these events not just for the holidays, but now, in class maybe we'll have a Battle Eggs tournament. And so the kids can invite their friends and anyone can join. So we get more new students through these mini events or these mini lessons. If I go into a little more detail about that, we do 4 lessons per unit. And the first 3 would be just standard lessons. So we would study, words that start with A or B and C, do the worksheets. But the 4th lesson is a special lesson. So it's usually a craft or a game, or if a holiday is near, we would have a mini party. And then we decided, well, let's take the Battle Eggs tournaments and let's take it one step further and create kind of a monthly activity. So we decided that every Sunday for 90 minutes, we're going to have just a kind of an open Battle Eggs day. It's a mini tournament, but anybody can join. For our students, they just show up with their pet decks. If it's their first time to participate, they can join for free. Otherwise, charge a couple $100 if you want. If not, I still think free would be a great way to get a lot of students. The only thing is that each player needs their own pet deck. So if you do have a new, somebody invites their friend, they've never played Battle Eggs, they've never studied English, no problem. They just have to buy a pet deck when they show up. So 500 yen to join. And then ideally, you'll have about 5 or 6 students per level. And for each group of 5 or 6 students, you need one teacher to be the dealer, or we call the egg master. And so, yeah, that's it. We're just going to have a few rounds of Battle Eggs. And the schedule would look something like this. We start out 10 minutes and we do a mini lesson. And so this way we can just teach maybe the new students, the friends who've just joined for the first time, we can teach them the colors and the pet names, and maybe a few basic vocab words from level 1, level 2, just to get everyone loosened up, warmed up, break the ice. Next, we're going to do pet deck preparation. Now, this is really fun. This is what I was mentioning before, but kids, if they have more than 15 cards, they can rebuild their pet decks. Maybe today, if I use my Rainbow Ninja, not my Rainbow Ghost, and my pink monster and not my green monster, I can, do better. So there's a little bit of skill and strategy involved there. So we have this really cool video on how to build a pet deck. And we watch the video together, and then everyone breaks into, sits down on the floor on a table, and they just build a deck. All right, so then after that, everyone puts everything away other than their one regulation pet deck, and we jump in. So for the next 45 minutes, we're going to just play 3 games. And I say 15 minutes, it's 10 minutes per game plus a 5-minute break. In that break, kids give them a bathroom break. Maybe we'll put on a song on the TV, do some kind of mini activity if you want. And we do 3 different game variations. And I actually think doing different variations keeps it, fun. If one game is too difficult or they didn't do well, playing a different variation would give them more of a chance the second time around. And we have scorecards. So game 1, 10 points. Game 2, 13 points. Game 3. And we total up the points to decide the winners at the end of the tournament. If you'd like to see any of the videos, we've recorded our full, the whole tournament. We've got videos of those. We've got the scorecards that we can share. The awards cards, those are, we'd be happy to share those with anyone who wants to try this out. And then let's see, after that, we have a little awards ceremony, and we award the top 2 players from each level get a prize, maybe like a 500 yen, gift card to a library or a bookstore, and we give them a pack of pet cards as well. So that's about a value of 1,000 yen. At the end, we then wrap it up with another, maybe an online game or some kind of just non-Battle Eggs style game, just to wrap things up if there's time left over, and then take a group photo, and we end the event. So if you're going to do an event like this and you're going to do it regularly, then promotion is a big, it's an important part of the process. Lots of good photos, lots of, promotion in classes. So all the students have their own pet cards. Say, hey, do you guys want to play again? We'll come to our event next Sunday. Bring your friends, bring your family. And so let's see, I have some pictures, I think, lined up here. Let's see if we can find our pictures. So here are some pictures from our mini tournament. Here you can see the students have spread their cards all out on the table. Actually, let's look at how to make a pet deck, because that's kind of useful to see, I think. Okay, so we have a video how to make a pet deck. Let me cue it up here and turn the screen back on. All right, so how to make a pet deck. So it's just a really short 1-minute video, but we have this process that's really easy for kids to understand. Now, our students have big pet cases and small pet cases because they've collected a lot of pet cards over the past couple years. So we just say, okay, we're gonna do everything with this small pet case. Now, you can take all your cards, and for now, just get one of each color. It doesn't matter what cards you put out, just get one of each color and put it down. There'll be 10 cards on the table. Okay, next, I need to have 15 cards, so I need to add 5 more cards. And as long as I don't have more than 2 of any color, it's fine. So I just choose 5 colors to add a second card to. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and there it is. Yeah, most kids want to have 2 rainbow cards if they have additional cards. And that's it. That's an official pet deck. 15 cards, all 10 colors represented, and you don't have more than 2 of any color. But there's actually one other rule. You can't have 2 of the same card. So I couldn't have 2 rainbow ninjas. So that's the only thing to watch out for. So we do that, and you show them this process. And then go in, you can exchange cards. Okay, I need a higher PPP black card, or I want a low orange. So that's where the strategy comes into play. So here you can see the kids are preparing their pet decks. And then we have the level 3, level 4. This is level 2 kids. And they are playing their games with Chris. I have the younger group of kids. You can see that we have 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds mixed in this group. But no problem at all. The game, like I said, is very randomized, and it's easy to play for everyone. And so then here we have the award ceremony. April, we saw her in the video. She's a big fan of battle eggs, and here she is winning her prize. Some other students here. We do our group photo. We ended up keeping the first event small, but we're doing this regularly, and we get a nice mix of new students each time. And again, once these new students come in, the parents can see, like, wow, this is what you use in your curriculum, in your English lessons. And they see the level of the students, and they go, okay, that looks interesting. Yeah, I'll come along for a special lesson at your school, or maybe I'll join a trial lesson and see what it's like. And because we use battle eggs in pretty much most of our lessons, if a trial student comes, they're pretty much like, they're hooked on it right away. Like, oh, this is awesome. And of course, give them a free, pet card on their way out and say, all right, hope to see you again soon. And so, yeah, it's such a great way to use battle eggs in the school, out of the school. There's a lot of ways we can get a lot out of this. So then we'll go back to our slideshow here. All right, so just on the note of mini tournaments, we found that holding these regularly is a good way to kind of draw a larger crowd each time. Students are pretty busy on Sundays, so maybe they won't be able to come every time, but if you get a new rotation of students, yeah, it's good. The more friends and family members they can invite, the better. And just make sure to let everyone know that it doesn't matter if you've never studied English, if you've never played the game. Like, anyone can join, anyone can win, anyone can have a lot of fun. Okay, so if we go back to the initial question, what is battle eggs? I'm going to change it to battle eggs I'm going to change from battle eggs as a game to it's a powerful educational resource that can create a long-term study through play culture in your school and lessons disguised as a game. But as we've seen, we've got video evaluations, we've got mini tournaments, we've got a lot of ways to really improve our curriculum, our school, our students' levels, as well as get more students using just a simple card game. It seems simple when you look at it on the, initially, but there's a lot going on. So just to recap here, it's got a lot of long-term interest. And that's one thing that we found with a lot of games that we've tried or played. Kids will play it once or twice, like, oh, it's fun. But as soon as you're like 6 months in, you're like trying to use it again, they're like, no. But battle eggs, yeah, long-term interest. We're 2 years into it, and the kids are there's, like I said, there's no loss of interest or motivation. Popular with all ages, all genders. We've had questions like, oh, what about, maybe little girls that want to play? They love it. Everyone loves it. It's been, a success with all of our students. A great thing about this game, if you need a resource that kind of breaks away from the reading writing cycle, let's do speaking. And if you want to add the reading focus, you can, but it's really just speaking. If you do have trial lessons, it's a great impression. Parents see the kids getting super excited, pulling out their pet cards, just saying all the vocab. We actually had a trial lesson today, and the parents are like, I don't know if my student can keep up. Their level is so good. And I was like, yeah, don't worry. They all started a year ago. You can use these in lessons, in special events. You can do marketing events. And like I said, it's a great way to even use it as a tool for student evaluation. So, whoa! Do we have a second edition pet cards on the way? I don't know. Top secret. But yeah, get ready for some all new, exciting Battle Eggs action. Coming soon. There will be more details on our website. That's all I'm going to say now. Okay, so let's play Battle Eggs. If you do want to try Battle Eggs, if you haven't, tried it with your lessons yet, like I said, I highly recommend at least one pet deck per student. But if you want to do one pet deck and one box of battle cards per student, that's what we do at our school. We just have the materials fee is about 15,000 yen per year. Covers their fun book, their stickers, their battle eggs, and 1 year of the ABC Fun Box so that they can use all these online games, all these mini lessons. So if you are interested, please go to bingobongokids.com and take a look there. We do offer discounts to schools who are purchasing for all of their students, whether it's just the pet decks or pet decks and battle decks. So if you're interested in that, please send us a message. All right. Well, I hope that you could get some, great ideas on how to use battle eggs in your lessons. And I will see everyone soon for our next webinar. All right. Thanks for watching. See you.